I don't think Black Clover is good.
You what?
I mean, I just don't vibe with it, you know what I mean?
You just don't vibe with it? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. But you gonna vibe with something. Oh!
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
I mean, whether you like Black Clover or not, I think we all can agree that it's not perfect. I also want to say that's okay. We're not going to agree on everything, especially in this video, but I think we need to discuss why Black Clover is so bad. Now listen, Black Clover fans. I need y'all to listen real quick. I need y'all to pause for a second. I need y'all to just calm yourself. Because I don't really give a fuck what you think. like I make this video when everyone else already made the thoughts on Black Clover, and you think I give a fuck? I'm already late to the party. I should have made this video like a year ago, but like still, like, damn, nigga, like, damn. Okay, but to be honest, I could talk about what's wrong with Black Clover for an hour. I know, because I literally had done a video and then I had to delete that shit because it was over an hour long and no one was gonna watch that shit because it's over an hour long, because I wouldn't even watch that shit and it's my fucking video. So I decided to focus on one area of Black Clover that needed work, but it was also for you Black Clover fans to, you know, not to freak out on one of your stronger areas also, which is weird. I know, it's kind of a paradox, but what's my fucking channel's name? Okay, so let's get into it. Yo, since this is a character critique, and, you know, not a usual critique of the whole show, you know, I think we should start with Asta, you know? And, yeah, get ready. Whoa, what's happening? Hey, whoa. Asta is a good character. There's nothing wrong with that, bruh. Yeah, he's not annoying at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Black Clover is a perfect series. I mean, it's not like there's a gun to my head or anything. Wait, what do you mean I have to read this? All of it? Really? Fine. Just calm down. Since there's a lot to talk about, I mean, so much to talk about, because Black Clover is an outstanding series with no flaws, and I could talk about how good it is for hours and hours. Please don't kill me. Let's start with the character Yami. Yami, I like Yami. I really do like Yami. Yami's a good character. I like Zora. Zora's a good character. I like I already said I like Asta. I like Magna, and I'm iffy on his design, but I think he's a good character too. Or at least he's somewhat entertaining. That's not to say that they were developed characters. That's just to say that I like them despite lacking developmental flaws. You know what? Fuck this. I ain't sweet. Damn, there's blood in my mouth. Yeah, I hit on that nigga. The problem's been handled, okay? You might want to send an ambulance, cause yeah, that nigga did. Yeah, but let's get back to the video. Okay, listen, I just did the people that I did like. I just did the people who were the male characters that I did like. And let me just say, the rest of the male character cast is lacking. Finwell, Gordon, Henry, the vice captain, Luck, Ghosh, all them people lacking. All them niggas lacking. I don't like them, bros. I will say that some of them have interesting powers, like Ghosh and the vice captain has interesting powers, and Luck has lightning, and lightning is cold. But I just don't like them, bros. I just can't vibe with them. I don't like them, their personality or their niche or whatever it is that tries to make them stand out. But most of them are kind of basic. Like, most of them are kind of basic. Like, or either cringy, like Henry and Gordon, especially, I find cringy. Now I know what you're gonna say. Just because you don't like them, dog, doesn't make Black Clover bad or anything like that. But let me take this into account. Okay, so they're your main cast, right? Your main male cast, the main male part of your cast, right? And I know that sounds kind of a little sus, but let's just stick to it. They're your main cast, as I said before. If I don't like most of your main cast, by the way, there's 9 people that I mentioned, probably around 9. So I don't either half or more than half of your main cast, then we got a problem. I mean, need I remind you, like, these are people that you're gonna spend most of your time with, that you're supposed to be rooting for, and to say that I have a problem with them because, let's be honest, they're not that really good of a character. Maybe the design-wise, you could say, oh yeah, that's acceptable, but like personality, motivation, backstory-wise, like, I don't give a fuck about these characters. I don't, and that's a problem. Like, I don't find these people likable anyway, or, you know, something that I should root for anyway, because I know it's just Asta, Noelle, or or someone else is gonna come to the rescue. Like, these characters are obviously meant to be side characters, and I know that's what they are. I'm not critiquing them for being side characters. I'm critiquing them because they're bad side characters. Like, the quality of them is bad. I'm not saying, like, to compare this to Naruto, that they had good side characters, but they kind of did. But I know most of the side characters got left, in the dust in Naruto. But with Black Clover, you introduce these side characters, and I feel like there's no development with them. I don't think of any of these bros like as a good character. I'm gonna start talking about the female main cast right now. I'm gonna start with 2 people in particular, and this is where the Black Clover fans are gonna like me, but like, oh, maybe this guy has a point. So I like 4 of the like 9 or 10 female main cast characters. There's like 10 of them. That get like a good amount of screen time. Okay, so I like Noelle. I like Meliona. I'm gonna call her Leona for now on because I'm pretty sure I'm butchering her name. But I like her. I like Mimosa, and I like Charlotte. And that's the only ones I like. Now, I have some problems with Mimosa and Charlotte, and some problems with Noelle. But Leona got it. But I'm gonna start with my problem with Noelle. But there's also good things about Noelle. That I like to get to. So there's both with Noelle. I would like to say this. The good things about Noelle is that she has a good design. She has a personality and a decent one, at least. And she has a decent backstory. I'll give you that. But let's just say the way she gets her powers is bullshit. I think we all can admit that shit. Like, the way she gets her powers is bullshit. And you would say, Doc, that's the power system. And life or death experiences, Black Clover gets these boosts. These magical boosts, that's just enough to, win, the ass pulls, as some people would put it. And I'm not saying that, yeah, according to the magic system, yeah, that's true. They do get the boost after, like, near-death experiences or in a death-defying situation and some shit like that. But that doesn't make it not less of an ass pull. That's just saying the system is inherently enabling ass pulliness, if you will put it that way. Like, just because the system allows it doesn't mean the system is not a bad system. It's a bad system. It's a bad system. It's a Deus Ex Machina system. It's just an ass pull ass system. It's a bad system. Noelle's a decent character. Like, she has some character defining moments. Like when she says, it was cringy as fuck, mind you, and I hated it. But it did say that she liked normals as well as commoners. Like, I think she said it when Asta and them were going out on the double date and shit at the festival. And she says, I don't care if you are a royal or a commoner. I want everyone to be happy or something like that. Like, that's a good development, and I'll give it to her. I'll give it to her that she's been more friendly. I'll give it that to her. I give it to her that she's been more courageous and more controlling of her power. And that's kind of not development, the controlling of the power part, but that she's been more confident. That's more development wise. But I also want to say that she gets a lot of ass pulls, and even with those developments, she's relatively the same as she was at the start of the series. At the end of the series, or end of the 170-ish episodes, and that's a problem. I like Noelle. I like Noelle with Asta. I'll follow these accounts on Twitter. Like, you can follow me on Twitter, and I'll literally follow these accounts. But I like them, But are they good quality? I think we're overrating Noelle just a teeny bit. And I like Noelle, and I was like, you know, I was watching this one guy's video, right? And I was like, nah, Noelle can't be that better character. It's like, but did she really change in her ideology or motives or anything like that? And I was like, no, you're right. She didn't really change. There's some miniature minor changes, and she did accept. I think she was less, you know, prejudiced against the lower class people, the commoners, as she would put it. But she does still refer to people as commoners. I know that's like the part of the bit, but it still shows like you kind of had this progression moment, and you like you're retconning that moment. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like hurting that moment, hurting the significance of that moment. Like that moment came too early, or you know, you just glazed over that moment. So Black Clover fans, you have to realize that she had a good moment. She has many good moments. And there's another thing I want to talk about, but I'll get that about later about her. That's good about her. But to ignore that moment or act like it didn't happen is gonna be the detriment to her character. It's a detriment to her character. That's a problem, because I like Noelle, but even I can't defend, like, if you have something and she has a moment of development, of actual character development, and you just ignore it or do it all the way altogether. That's a bad thing. Okay, I'm gonna speak about Meliona. Meliona is a good character. She's a badass. She's strong. She has a softer side. She acts like to a mother figure or a big sister figure to Noelle, and I appreciate that. Now, Noelle and her both have something in common, which you don't see in a lot of female shonen manga, and that is they lose. And I know you say, oh, what are you talking about? Females lose all the time. Like, no, usually I would say like 70% of the time they get saved by the main character, and that is usually to either state how badass the main character or how cool the main character is, and or develop their relationship or the reason for their relationship, like to justify the girl liking the boy, or vice versa. Usually the girl liking the boy. But you know, Noelle does get saved, but she also saved people, but she also loses. And there's a lot to learn from losing. That's why they call it lessons sometimes. You know, that's what people call lessons sometimes. Because if you stop her from, you know, losing, you don't even have to kill her, but if you stop her from losing, you're stopping her development as a character, because she doesn't learn from the loss. She doesn't know what she did wrong, and she relies on that main character or the person who saves her more than not. And if you rely on that she's gonna save her every time, she's not gonna work hard. She's not gonna try to beat the other guy. She's not gonna try to get stronger. She's gonna think in the back of her mind, or in this case, anyone's mind, that there's gonna be always someone that's gotta save me, instead of I gotta save myself. I gotta step up and be brave and save myself. Now, sometimes this is just result of an ass pull. Like, sometimes she wins because of an ass pull, and sometimes she loses and then like trains for 2 days and then gets another ass pull. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about how, like, it's only, the loss is only good when they can reflect on their defeat and have enough time. And yet, hopefully, they can learn a new spell, and hopefully they can get stronger. But I don't think I think it's to the detriment of her character if she just loses and then 2 days later, you know what I'm saying, she gains a new power out of thin air and beats it. That's not growth. That's not development. That's not, or at least it's not good development. You know, it's not really development, because it's more power development than it is character development. And then Meliona loses too, which I like, because she's this badass, but she still takes losses, and I think that's kind of it actually made her more badass for me. It's like, okay, no one's gonna save her. She's just gonna lose on her own. I was like, yeah, that's solid. So I'm gonna start talking about the other female characters. We have like 6 out of 8 female characters who have love interests, including Noelle. And like I said before, love is not a bad thing. Loving someone, liking someone, having interest in someone is not a bad thing. In anime or in any case whatsoever, any story, any TV, any movie, whatever, any medium. But the problem gets with when love consumes the character. This is a problem because if you have a character and all you know about that character is that they love someone, they like someone, and what they look like, that's not a character. That is just a blank sheet. That is what it is. It's not a character. It is just a character design. That's it. Because a real character would have some basis of personality, maybe some motivation, and maybe some backstory. At least a personality. At least give me that. You know, give me some faults. Give me some deficits. Give me some good things about her. Some good personality traits. You know, if maybe she's jealous, maybe she's this, maybe he's this, maybe, you know, maybe there. I don't care. But the character itself has to be somewhat established. Don't use love to brush over a character's development or personality or motivation. Don't use love to replace those things. Those things are what make characters characters. And when you substitute love for the motivation or the personality, most likely, like most people do, most shonen does, and maybe even most bad romance do, you are not making a character. You are not making a character at all. You're just making a device, an offset, an output of love, or an input of love, whatever. It's not a character. You can still like these characters. I have nothing wrong with liking these characters or the designs or whatever fucking personality that they managed to give it. Usually it's a bad one. But when, again, the love overwrites the personality or motivation. Now, I'm not saying if you want someone to love you and you want to work hard to make them see you, that's not a bad motivation necessarily. If handled correctly, it can be a good one. If you think about this person all the time, or have a character think about this person all the time, that is cool. But don't let it be to the detriment of the character's personality. We have at least 6 of the 8 or 9 main female cast characters that have love interests, including Noelle. And out of all of them, I think Noelle is the only one that does it, like, well. Like, she's the only one that, even when you take away her interest in Asta, her love or liking or whatever in Asta, she's still a character. The rest of them people are not. They aren't. They just simply aren't. They aren't much a character. They have little to no personalities even to begin with. They have little to no motivation. They have little to no backstory. They're not a character. This goes for Charlotte. This goes for Vanessa, Charmy, Gray, Mimosa. But the point is, you need to have already some sort of character, some sort of building block, some sort of foundation that to build upon. A foundation usually comes, like, if this was a house analogy, the foundation would usually be the personality. You know, usually a solid personality. You don't have to do too much. You don't want to make it too strong. You don't want to make it too strong or so weak, not necessarily. But you want at least a decent one, so you know you can build a house upon it. I understand how a house works. Then you want motivation. Now, background is just addressing, to be honest. Background is just like the couch and the carpet and all, and the drapes and the decorum and stuff like that. But motivation is usually like the brickwork and all that other stuff, the structural stuff. Hi, Editor Doc here. Listen, I've been thinking about it for days, and it's not like I said anything super wrong, but I said something about that personality shit. It's like, nah, you need at least you need a flawed personality. You need what you really need is here, people. You need each one of these 3 things to feed into each other. The background feeds into the motivation, and the motivation feeds into the personality, and vice versa. Basically, if you have something your character wants, you need to create a personality that doesn't let them achieve that all the time. So if I'm super greedy, right, and I want lots of money because I had nothing, right? 'Cause I grew up with nothing, okay? I need to have a point where that greed intervenes with my goal. So maybe I go up, rob stores, and get out, and usually no one knows my face or something like that. Maybe I'm super good at it. But then one time, I usually have like a 10-second rule or 30-second rule or whatever. One time I decided to go 10 seconds over that rule, and I almost get caught. I do it again, almost get caught. The third time I get caught, or my partner dies or something like that. Then that's a learning moment for that character. You need to have consequences, both good and bad, because consequences are just results for the character's actions. And those characters' actions need to be the result of their backstories, their personalities, and their motivations, combined. That's what really creates a character. So yeah, I brush off like background like it's not important, but for a while now, Itachi's background was like mostly he just killed his clan. He killed his clan because, and we didn't know why he killed his clan in his first Sasuke, but we assumed because he said it was too weak. But later we find out why he did that is because to stop a civil war that was going on, because the third Hokage said, "Oh, you need to kill these bros because these about to go through a civil war." So he had to make the tough decision. He had to make a business decision. Shout out my nigga Itachi. But like I said, then we learn more about his motivation, and we learn about his personality through his motivation. You see how that works? So you need to build on these things. You don't need to introduce them all at one time, but your characters need to do these things. Okay, back to the video. Editor doc out. If it has personality and motivation, boom, and then it has that person has a good backstory. Hey, that's a good house. I would want to live in that house. But these characters do not. I do not want to live in any of their houses, so to speak. If I'm sticking to that analogy. And it's not like you can't like these characters. Let me stress this at any point. Black Clover fans, you can like every character in Black Clover. You can like every character in some other genre, whether they're good or bad. Objectively good or bad, subjectively good or bad. You can like these characters, right? You can like whatever characters you want. That's on you. But at some point, you have to admit, they are poorly developed characters. And I'm not saying every character has to be this dynamic piece of work, but even these static characters, these quote-unquote static characters, which means they are unchanging. They basically don't change from scene one to the end of the season or show or series or something like that. That they remain the same. But the problem with that is, if they aren't really established characters and they get no development, then I'm uninterested as a person who watches this shit. And if you're gonna say, Doc, most of these characters are static characters, they're not gonna change much, they're not gonna give much development, that is a problem, because these characters are not developed. You want to have pre-developed characters if you want to go the static route or whatever. If you don't, you need to make these characters dynamic. In other words, you need to give them faults, a personality, maybe probably a motivation, and maybe even a backstory. You don't have to, but at least 2 out of the 3 would be nice. Something to keep it interesting that help you shape these characters. Now, that's just the basis of a character. But Black Clover doesn't even have that structure, doesn't have that basis. And that's why I think it's one of the main problems of Black Clover is in the character. There are a lot of other problems with Black Clover and a lot of other good things about Black Clover. But, maybe not a lot, but there are good things about Black Clover. But the main thing that worries me about Black Clover is this character and how they develop. Anyway, that's all the video, y'all. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, whatever, share. And thank you. Shout out to my brother for making the intro beat. Shout out to anyone who comments. Shout out to the Black Clover community and any community that I shit on in the future, because there's gonna be a lot.